I am Ferdinand Marcos, and I am the President of the Republic of the Philippines. I stand today on behalf of 110 million Filipinos.
Proceedings today. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. I welcome you to the third hearing called by the Committee on Legislative Franchise to continue our discussions on the various issues surrounding the franchise of Suara Sug Media Corporation, more commonly known as SMNI. In the course of the previous hearings, evidence has been presented to this committee on various actions committed by SMNI which constitute violations of their franchise as provided for under Republic Act 11422. Given the submissions made by the various resource persons, the answers given during the previous hearings, and the research conducted by this committee and its members, we have received proof that SMNI has violated Section 4, Section 10, and Section 11 of its franchise. We have to make it clear that this investigation goes beyond SMNI. This investigation goes into ensuring that the granted franchises by government do not contribute to the spread of disinformation and fake news. It is a basic principle in journalism that in a news article or a news report that a reporter must cite their source, a quote must be attributed to the person who said it. Disinformation and fake news can spread easily when sources are not identified and if people are allowed to make claims and allegations left and right without citing their source. We in Congress must play a role in ensuring disinformation has no room in our democratic space. Mga kababayan, gagawin ng committee ito ang kanyang tungkulin at obligasyon sa ilalim ng batas. This committee has a responsibility to ensure only entities who serve the public interest and who have the good and welfare of the Filipino people as their priority should have the privilege of a franchise and the benefits which flow from the franchise. Ang dapat pangunahing prioridad ng bawat binibigyan ng prangkisa ay ang kapakanan ng taong bayan. Ang pagkalat ng mga fake news at disinformation ay labag sa kapakanan ng taong bayan. Though Congress is the one that grants any franchise, it is ultimately the Filipino people. Through their elected representatives who grant the franchise. A franchise, if you think about it closely, is the trust of the Filipino people to a particular entity to provide a public service for the public good. Ang prangkisa ay tiwala na binibigay ng taong bayan sa isang korporasyon o grupo na nagbibigay ng serbisyo at paglilingkod sa tao. It is the task of this committee as elected representatives of the Filipino people to ensure that those who violate the trust given to them by the Filipino people must face the proper consequences. Mga kababayan, gagawin ng committee ito ang kanyang tungkulin at obligasyon sa taong bayan. Hindi dapat baliwala ang tiwala ng taong bayan. Ang mga lumalabag sa kanilang prangkisa, ang mga lumalabag sa tiwalang pinagkakaloob ng taong bayan ay dapat managot sa ilalim ng batas. Maraming salamat po, and let us start with our hearing. Measure, the chair first will recognize the Honorable Toby Tiangco. Silence is requested.
Yes, Mr. Chair. May I be allowed to show a screenshot on our screen?
Please. Please dim the lights if needed on the portion of the... Yeah.
Pwede pong lakihan, Comsec. Okay. This is a social media post from SMNI, and I will read it. SMI News collabs with Ctgn. Ctgn, Mr. Chair, dear colleagues, is the China Global Television Network. which is one of the three branches of the state-run China Media Group. So ibig sabihin yung CGTN, yan po ay pag-aari ng gobyerno ng China. SMI News and China's state TV, CGTN, are poised to establish partnerships to facilitate the dissemination of information. The collaboration aims to enhance the exchange of news and promote a deeper understanding of current affairs between the two media organizations. By working together, SMI News and CGTN will deliver comprehensive and reliable news coverage to their respective audiences. The initiative underscores the significance of international cooperation in sharing diverse perspectives and fostering a more informed global community. The meeting between the executives of the two networks took place in Beijing, China. Mr. Chair, the reason why I'm bringing this out, because this is very dangerous, no? Kung ang isang franchise holder ay may cooperation o collab with the Chinese government, state-owned o pag-aari ng gobyerno ng China na media network, eh alam naman natin ang linalabas ng China ngayon, lalo na sa West Philippine Sea, ay puro kasinungalingan. So ano magiging epekto nito? Ang tanong doon sa binigyan ng prangkisa ng Kongreso. At ang isa pang mahalaga dito, Mr. Chair, please allow me to show naman a video clip from the last hearing.
Mr. Chair, the agreement with the Chinese company is not SMNI or the Suara Soup, but it's SMNI Foundation. That's a different company, Mr. Chair.
Pwede po kaya lakasan, i-replay ulit, tapos lakasan lang natin yung volume?
Based on my information, Mr. Chair, the agreement with the Chinese company is not SMNI or the Suara Soup, but it's SMNI Foundation. That's a different company, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mr. Chair, paano po natin ma-reconcile? May we ask the representatives of SMNI, how can we reconcile this? Doon sa social media post nila ang nakasulat po.
The lawyer, Attorney Tolentino, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May applause po sa lahat. Iba yung agreement ng SMNI with CGTN. Iba naman yung SMNI Foundation with China Embassy Partnership. With China Embassy Partnership and SMNI Foundation, I have with me a memorandum of agreement with the Embassy of the People's Republic of China and SMNI Foundation. This is with respect to the basketball court financed by the embassy in Davao City and Dagami, Leyte. This project is part of Chinese Embassy's initiative for people-to-people exchanges with the Filipino community. Iba po yun. But with respect to SMNI and CGTN, this is with respect to the collaboration of SMNI and China State TV, CGTN, following the executive meeting in Beijing, China, last July 2023. The partnership of SMNI and CGTN will allow both parties to share only news videos that can be aired in each platform. CGTN has correspondents in different parts of the world, and through this partnership, they can also report SMNI, especially in international breaking news. On the other hand, SMNI will provide packaged news coverage. This is similar to the practice when subscribing to other international news agencies, such as Reuters, Associated Press, CNN,
Mr. Chair,
and
Mr. Chair,
Before Attorney Tolentino continues his statement, I just would like to remind him he's under oath. And therefore, he must speak the truth in this committee. Because if not, I'll be compelled to move to make a motion to declare him in contempt of this committee.
Thank you very much.
Chair, Mr. Chair. Yes, before we let Attorney Tolentino continue, I think in that meeting, if I recall correctly, we can ask the stenographers to check the records of the meeting. Hindi po niya sinabi that there were two separate agreements. Ang tanda ko po, ang sinabi niya, walang agreement yung CGTN with SMNI News at isa lang ang agreement na yun po ay yung sa Chinese Embassy at SMNI Foundation. Pero ngayon po, sinasabi po niya, dalawa po yung agreement. So please, to our stenographers, kindly check kung tama po yung recollection ko doon sa meeting na yon. Kasi yun po ang tanda ko. So magkaiba po yung sinasabi ngayon na dalawa yung agreement, magkaiba rin yung sinasabi noong nakaraang hearing na isa lang po yung agreement. So, pero habang chinecheck po ng ating secretariat yan, ang mabuti lang po, humingi na lang po tayo ng kopya ng agreement ng SMNI News tsaka ng CGTN. But still, before the end of the meeting, I would like to read the transcribed version so that we will know if he really said that there were two o ang sabi niya doon sa meeting na yon ay isa lang po yung agreement. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, to expedite the situation, no? Mr. Chair.
There was a request by the Honorable Chanco for copies of what you are reading, those two. May I ask the page to please get a copy of what Attorney Tolentino is reading? May we have a copy while you're reading it?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, in the spirit of
the Honorable Dan.
in the spirit of fairness, may we allow the resource speaker to recollect his statement in the last hearing, thereby asking him to find out for himself kung he mentioned those statement that was mentioned by Congressman Toby. In that case, we will be proceeding with our hearing para makatipid po tayo sa oras.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Kasi I also believe that you mentioned that statement, Mr. Chairman.
Can I make a
Well, may I have the other agreement? Because there were two agreements that you mentioned.
Can I make a clarification, Mr. Chairman?
I'm sorry?
Can I make a clarification?
Yes, but can we have another copy? You mentioned of two agreements.
I only mentioned one agreement, Mr. Chairman.
No, you mentioned that there's a foundation and there is
Can I finish my statement, Mr. Chairman?
Okay, please.
The agreement is only between SMNA Foundation and Chinese Embassy Partnership with respect to the basketball court in Davao City and Dagami, Leyte. With respect to the SMNI and CGTN, there is no written agreement yet. It's still in the process of negotiation.
Okay, so we have a copy in our possession of the agreement of the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in the Republic of the Philippines and SMNI Foundation.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So you confirm
Yes,
that
Mr.
this is a copy, a true copy.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. And you're saying now that the second agreement does not have anything in writing.
Yes, Mr. Chair. It's still on the process of negotiation.
Okay. So, the Honorable Chanco, you still have the floor.
Yes, that's okay. I will just coordinate the committee secretariat with regards to the transcript. And you can proceed, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes,
Again,
Attorney Tolentino.
Mr. Chair, with respect to the other issue, Mr. Chair, subject to the constitutional rights and laws, Mr. Chair, and for the spirit of Christmas and humanitarian reason, Mr. Chair, I'd like to request this honorable committee through the chair that my two clients, Ka Eric Celis and Dr. Lorraine Badoy, be released from detention, Mr. Chair, with undertaking that they will write a formal letter to this honorable committee through the chairman about this request, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Attorney Tolentino. We will await those letters. We're in receipt of one, but we still don't have another one. So anyway, we will go to at the proper time. I will be calling on you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Thank you
Chair,
very
before
much,
we
Attorney.
proceed,
Yes.
may I ask sino po yung nagsulat? Dalawa yung kinontempo natin, si Celis and si Badoy.
Yes.
Sino na po ba nagsulat requesting for reconsideration?
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
we
writing it,
are
Mr.
in receipt this morning of a letter from Eric Celis, and we will read this later. No? We will have to proceed with the hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And after we have tackled, we will go to the portion where we will be discussing this. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, for clarification purposes, we only have one letter at the moment. that has
Yes,
been
we do have. We only have one.
So wala pa tayong letter coming from Badoy.
Opo, wala pa po tayong letter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. So the Honorable Toby,
Client has to be released on the issue of constitutional right. I'd like to remind him that what we're doing here is also our constitutional right.
Yes,
Go ahead, Tolentino.
we agree with that, Mr. Chair.
And therefore, you ought to reform your request.
Yes,
Look, if you're telling us that they have their own constitutional, we have our own also here.
We
And what
agree
we're
with that.
doing right now is our constitutional right.
I'd
And
like to
therefore, you
reform-
ought to reform your statement.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Can I reform my statement, Mr. Chair?
okay, we will go there later, okay?
Thank you, Mr.
But Honorable Benevante, you still have the floor for any interpretation on the bill of the Honorable Mix Gonzalez.
Mr. Chair, what I just would like to raise is that I think Madam Badoy made a statement that the House of Representatives is infiltrated with communist elements. I know that they can be able to answer it. Perhaps our lawyer here could be able to answer that. Why did she make that statement?
That's why, Mr. Chair, if our request will be granted, they're willing to answer that, Mr. Chair, because they have personal knowledge about that question, Mr. Chair.
So,
Yeah, I'm
in
going to-
short, you do not have any. You can explain.
The best person to answer that, Mr. Chair, is Dr. Lorraine Badoy and Ka Eric Celis with respect to the terrorist issues, Mr. Chair, or the NPA or communist issue, Mr. Chair.
May I just ask, are you still lawyering for them? You were a hard lawyer in the last hearing. Are you still going to lawyer for them today?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so does it also go with Attorney Rex Suplico?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so now, Honorable Bante,
Yeah, Mr. Chair,
you still have the floor.
sa akin in the spirit of the season, you would like them to be released also. But when you begin to make statements like that, accusing the House of Representatives to have communist elements here, well, that would be a very big accusation that this House cannot accept, Mr. Chair. I'm going to continue later on with my interpolation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Benny Apante.
Baka
We now
may-
go to the third interpreter,
Baka mayroon
the
naman.
Honorable Daniel Manuel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Magandang umaga.
Yes, Mr. Chair, ang tanong ko ay related din dun sa partnership ng SMNI sa Chinese State Media Network na Chinese Global Television Network o CGTN. Mr. Chair, may ipapa-flash po sana tayo na ilan sa mga na-observe din natin regarding this partnership kasi meron pong isang tweet ang account na SMNI News sa platform na X, which is formerly Twitter, announcing this deal. Ang sabi po doon sa tweet, at kung maaari po ay may flash din ito, and I quote, "Isang partnership deal ang nakatakdang isapinal sa pagitan ng SMNI News at ng China Global Television Network or CGTN para sa pagbabalita." End of quote. Tapos Mr. Chair, sa ilalim po nun ay yung link sa website ng SMNI News. That would be smninewschannel.com. Ito po ay na-tweet noong July 18, 2023. May ifa-flash na po ba natin? Sige, well, naantay po natin, Mr. Chair, para din na-explain ko ang nilalaman nitong nakita po natin. So, part po ng tweet ay yung link. So, kung i-click po yung link, dapat makikita ang news item ng SMNI to further explain ano ang partnership deal. Pero Mr. Chair, pag na-click na po ang link, ang lalabas na po ay yung error na mensahe, 404, oops, that page cannot be found. So Mr. Chair, may we know bakit po hindi na makita ang ganitong web page sa smninewschannel.com?
Mr. Chair, can I ask if it is Facebook, YouTube, TikTok? May know what platform is that, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, I just mentioned may tweet po sa X, which is formerly Twitter, tapos may link po ng page, pero ang link po mismo pag ini-click, ang lalabas po ay wala na ang page.
To the best of my knowledge, Mr. Chair, the Facebook, the Twitter, YouTube, tinanggal nila ang SMNI, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, ito po ay sa page mismo ng SMNI. It's smninewschannel.com. So Mr. Chair, ang tanging may control po nito ay SMNI, hindi po ang ibang mga social media companies or platforms.
If I
There's
can
someone
answer.
who can answer this correctly. Please introduce yourself and what position do you hold?
I'm Cristina San Pedro, Mr. Chair, a part of the BOD but also involved in operations at SMNI.
Please,
Thank you.
please answer.
Okay. Maybe the Honorable Raul Manuel was saying, the link that he was saying was because most of our videos on our website before was hosted by YouTube, and since our YouTube
Mr. Chair, allow me to interrupt. Hindi po connected ang inyong website sa YouTube. Mr. Chair, kasi baka malito po ang committee na ito dahil again, ang website po na ito ay mismo nasa news channel or ibig sabihin, nasa website mismo ng SMNI and no other entity has control of that website except SMNI. So, ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, kung na-take down ang page na ito, it would be SMNI that took it down. So, ang tanong po natin, bakit hindi na available ang ganitong news item which is supposed to explain that tweet regarding the partnership of SMNI and Ctgn?
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Is this your first time to attend the hearing, ma'am?
I was here sa first hearing po. Not my first, Your Honor.
Were you part of the
No.
group that received the oath?
Just today, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so can you please rise and I direct the COMSEC to administer the oath to a member of the board of directors of SMNI?
Knowledge, we have discussed that with our technical persons that some of our videos are being hosted in YouTube, so therefore it disappears. That's as far as I know about disappearance of videos for the moment, Mr. Chair.
The Honorable Manuel.
Mr. Chair, I don't think we have to be technical experts about the internet and websites para po maintindihan na hindi po katanggap-tanggap ang naging sagot. Mr. Chair, ayun po naka-flash na sa ating screen. Ay kung pwede po ma-back para mapakita lang natin ang tweet regarding the partnership from the Twitter account. So Mr. Chair, ayan, yan po ang tweet mismo ng SMI News at andyan po yung link, yung naka-blue. Tapos po, kapag i-click na po ang link, ayan, so pwede na pong next, yan po ang lalabas. So again, that website is by SMI News itself. The page that is supposed to contain the news na nandun sa tweet is hosted by the SMNI website. So, Mr. Chair, maybe we can hear for one last time kung meron pong ibang paliwanag. Kasi kung wala pong ibang paliwanag, then we can only conclude for ourselves kung bakit tinanggal na iyan ng SMNI.
Again, Mr. Chair, if we go back to the tweet that the Honorable Manuel is pointing out, it says that isa sa Pinal po, so it doesn't mean na even nawala po yung video with which we cannot also know right now kung ano po yung pinapoint out niya na video. Ang sinabi po ng tweet ay isa sa pinal. So, ibig sabihin po, yung sinasabi po ni Attorney Mark kanina na ongoing po yung transaction. Wala pa pong nangyayaring final na transaction with CGTN.
Malinis yan.
Maraming salamat po.
Mr. Chair, the resource person is not answering the question. We are actually not referring to any video which is hosted by some other platform like YouTube or iba pa. Ang nasa link po ay mismo galing sa SMNI. And clearly, gusto nating i-establish ang fact na tinake down ng SMNI ang sarili nilang balita to explain the details of that partnership with the CGTN. So,
Ma'am, please reply. Tinanggal niyo ba o inalis niyo ba?
Mr. Chair, wala po akong personal knowledge. Kung yan po ay tinake down, yun po to the best of my knowledge na ma-i-explain ko na napag-meetingan namin ng IT before pa way back kung bakit nawawala yung iba namin mga videos.
Sino pwede mag-explain ito? Kung hindi ko kayo ang board of directors, di ba dapat yung mga lahat yan, yung mga technical, mag-explain sa inyo kung ano nangyayari sa inyong website at ang inyong mga tweets?
Yes po, Mr. Chair. So
Is there a way you can ask that now? And I'll get back to you later.
yes po, Mr. Chair.
Okay? And yan, I know si Attorney Rolex, kino-coach ka rin yan. Kaya, Attorney, baka pwedeng patawagin po natin at malaman po natin para matapos na po itong mga issue ko din. Mag-hearing na naman ako para lang pag-usapan po yung mga issue yan. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Salamat, Attorney. Ang ginagalang na Attorney Rolex Suplico.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Isang elementary pa lang ako, binabasa ko na yan. Nasa dyaryo. Ngayon, kasama ko na. Okay. At roommate ni Congressman Dan Fernandez na inamin ni Congressman Dan. Ang ganyan, yan yung ibang usapan yan, ha? Kung ano pong, at saka may relationship yan, binanggit mo, no? So, babanggitin natin. Gusto ko malaman ang klase relationship yan, Kong Dan. Okay. We now proceed. The Commonwealth has the floor. Please proceed.
yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So dahil po, apparently ay na-take down ang news item na ito, galing mismo sa SMNI, they posted it, and then tinake down din po nila. So tatanungin na lang din po natin ang mga detalye. So dun po sa partnership ng SMNI News tsaka CGTN ay aside dun sa video sharing, ibig sabihin po ba noon the Chinese media can feed us with videos na pwede nating i-play dito and the other way around? Ano po ang terms na gustong ma-achieve ng agreement ng dalawa?
To whom?
To anyone po,
Anyone.
SMNI.
Yes, ma'am. Kayo pa rin.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes, you may.
Ang natatangi po na magiging laman po ng agreement na yan ay kung mayroon po silang video footage na gusto namin na gamitin sa aming balita, ay pwede po namin gamitin at hindi po nila kami pwedeng diktahan kung anong balita ang aming ipapalabas. The same goes with them. Katulad rin po yan ng subscription sa routers, yung pinapaliwanag po kanina ni Attorney Mark. Ganun lang po, Your Honor. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Ay, masagot talaga.
dahil nga isa sa mga issue na mahalaga din at dapat nga ay may active role ang lahat ng mga Pilipino ay ang pagdepensa ng West Philippine Sea. So, Mr. Chair, so far, may mga napapublish po ba na mga balita ang SMNI in connection to the issue of the West Philippine Sea?
Ma'am, who will reply? Please state your name.
Good morning,
and position.
sir. Hannah Sancho, SMNI po. Member po ng BOD and kasama din po sa operations ng SMNI. Kung ano po yung mga balita po na nakukuha ng mga reporters namin with regards po sa issue po ng West Philippine Sea ay binabalita po namin po.
So, Mr. Chair, how often ang coverage ng SMNI regarding what is happening in the West Philippine Sea?
Please proceed.
Your Honor,
Yes, please reply.
whenever magkakaroon po ng press conference na pinapatawag po ang Department of Defense or Philippine Coast Guard in relations po sa West Philippine Sea. Meron po tayong reporters po na nagko-cover and binabalita po nila on the same day po. May mga beat reporters po tayo sa Defense, sa PCG po. Lahat po ng areas na may concern po sa West Philippine Sea.
Mr. Chair, would SMNI agree
May sagot
na
talaga?
ang West Philippine Sea ay bahagi iyan ng teritoryo ng Pilipinas?
In fairness, guys, nagkukover ang SMNI. Binabalita nila po
Who
yan.
will reply?
I'm
Attorney
witness
Tolentino.
na.
Yes,
Because
Mr.
I'm
Chair, we
watching.
agree that West Philippine Sea is part of the Philippines.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Chair, with that, paano po natin matitiyak na ang coverage when it comes to this issue ay tunay na magiging aligned doon sa ating claims with the West Philippine Sea kung ang partner mismo ng SMNI ay isang media network na ito ay bahagi talaga mismo o ito ay pagmamayari ng Chinese government.
Sama sa
Attorney Tolentino.
sinasabi ng ating director, hindi didiktahan ang SMNI kung ano yung news na ipapakita. But based only on the video, hiraman ng video, same also yung ginagawa ng other media networks na mga subscribers. Kasi yung subscription kasi ng Reuters, yung agency fronts, may bayad po yan. But with respect to CGTN, walang bayad po yan. So, yun ang pagkakaiba. But still, ang ginagamit natin, yung mga video clippings, maganda po, but it doesn't mean na may dikta on the part of the CGTN to the SMNI. In fact, per record, Mr. Chair, wala pa pong final written agreement with SMNI and CGTN.
Mr. Chair, what is the timeline of that agreement? When is that expected to be finalized at kailan mapipirmahan?
Who can reply? Attorney? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For now, wala pa pong timeline itong mga usapin na ito sapagkat lumalalim po ang ating usapin sa West Philippine Sea. Yan lang po. Thank you.
Can SMNI elaborate on that, Mr. Chair? Kasi ang nabanggit kanina, whatever is the stand of, for example, China doon sa West Philippine Sea, hindi daw makaka-affect sa kanilang coverage. Pero ngayon, Mr. Chair, ang binabanggit dahil umiinit ang issue, then hindi pa definitely makapagsabi ang SMNI, kailan mapipinal ang agreement?
Katulad po ng sinabi ko, Mr. Chair.
Yes, please. You have the
Yes po.
floor.
Katulad ng sinabi ko po kanina, wala pa pong final date dahil hindi pa po kami uli na kikipag-usap sa CGTN kung kailan po ito maisa sa pinal. Kaya po ang aming mga balita ay isa sa pinal.
Sige, Mr. Chair, kasi ang naging tweet mismo ng SMNI News, ang pinakita natin kanina, ang sabi po doon, the partnership deal is set to be finalized. And ang date po noon ay July 18, 2023. So Mr. Chair, ilang buwan na rin ang lumipas, kaya I think it is timely for us to ask, no? Kasi nga ang involved dito ay ang patuloy na operations ng SMNI, and we have the right to know kung kailan talaga finalize ang ganitong agreement, kung ito naman ay titindigan talaga ng SMNI na matuloy.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
the last meeting with the executives of SMNI and China State TV, the CGTN, was last July 2023. But still, we are still in the process of negotiation. It's not yet final. Hopefully, as soon as possible, as long as wala pong ma-violate na law ng ating batas, we will agree. But assuming na may violations of the law, we will not sign any agreement with the TV CGTN. That's why we would like to undertake na yung SMNI, we will follow all the laws and the Philippine Constitution with respect to this agreement.
Na Mr. Chair, ang kasunod po natin na magiging tanong, no? Dahil ang SMNI, as we have observed, naging part ng kanyang pag-present ng mga balita, whether totoo man o hindi, ay ang pagre-red tag sa iba't ibang mga tao. Mr. Chair, concerned ang ating mga mangingisda na nandyan sa area na malapit sa West Philippine Sea dahil sila sa totoo lang mahal nila ang bayan, tapos ang at stake dyan ay aside sa territory natin, kabuhayan nila. Now, Mr. Chair, they are very bothered with this kind of partnership dahil kapag halimbawa sila ay nagsalita in defense of the West Philippine Sea, paano sila i-cover ng SMNI kung ganon kasama ang tingin sa mga taong nagpapaabot lamang ng kanilang mga hinaing. They fear that if ever lumala ang nangyayari sa West Philippine Sea, baka sila pa ay i-red tag ng SMNI, tatawaging mga kalaban ng bayan, when in fact what they are doing is actually in service of the goals of our country.
Reply. Does that, are you asking for a reply?
Yes.
Attorney Tolentino.
We believe, Mr. Chair, that there is no red tagging. We never practice red tagging. And in fact, wala po sa batas ang red tagging, Mr. Chair.
Tama.
So, so ang sinasabi mo nyo, hindi ko nag-red tag.
Never.
Then you follow it up by, there is no law
Yes, Mr. Chair.
that describes red tagging.
Yes, Mr.
Or
Chair.
defines red tagging.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mga NPA lang ang gumagawa niyan.
Mr. Chair, meron na pong mga bahagi ng ating judicial branch na nag-define ng red tagging.
Ay,
We
nako.
have Associate Justice
Ikaw naman,
Marvic
Raul
Leonon.
Manuel.
Nandiyan din ang Manila Regional Trial Court.
Kayo lang
So,
gumagawa niyan
Mr. Chair, andyan na rin po ang mga definitions. And Mr. Chair, isa nga ito sa mga mabibigat na usapin natin kasi itong nangyayaring red tagging, totoo at real siya na nangyayari. So, hindi natin matanggapin na hanggang ngayon ay dinedenay ng network na ginagawa niya ito. Kasi napakarami na pong mga independent outlets and even other fact-checking agencies na nagsasabi na nag-red tag ang SMNI. Halimbawa, Mr. Chair, so actually, maliban dun sa issue nga, di ba, ng pang-red tag sa mga defenders din ng West Philippine Sea, ay napakarami ding mga usapin pa. For example, Mr. Chair, we have Verifiles na nag-fact check ng isa sa mga claims ni Lorraine Badoy Partosa. Ang sabi po nila ay for example, we have Jonathan De Santos na isang officer, actually chairperson ng National Union of Journalists of the Philippines, Mr. Chair. So supposedly, if SMNI claims that it is a legitimate media organization, then dapat katuwang niya at pinoprotektahan din niya ang kanyang kapwa media. And right now, they are even appealing to other media outlets to defend its freedom of expression. Pero Mr. Chair, inabuso ng SMNI ang kanyang freedom of expression to the point na pati media ay nire-red tag nila. So, Mr. Chair, meron po ba tayong resource person mula sa, for example, media practitioners natin?
Makapagsalita si Manuel, napakalinis niya. Yung pagbibintang niya kaya
Yes.
sa dating Marcos Sr.
Mr. Chair, meron po bang from like media practitioners?
Yes. Yes. Can you already reply? Kasi we will have to move, no? We're still discussing the bill of the Honorable Nograles, that the committee report. So we will have to wind up already so that we can move on to the other questions. No?
Tayo mo si Senator Bato.
Yes, please.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Oh, the Honorable
Clarify
Nograles,
lang,
I'm sorry, ma'am.
resolution pa po, hindi po bill yung final ko, resolution po.
Yes.
Resolution po. Sinasabi mo kasi Mr. Chair bill, hindi po bill.
My
ang final
apologies.
ko.
The resolution authored by the Honorable Nograles. My apologies. We now proceed, please.
Mr. Chair, I was asking if meron pong mga resource person tayo from like media
Wala na ba ibang
practitioners
magtatanong?
or media groups.
Please.
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, I will defer the question of the Honorable Raul Manuel to our in-house consultant for broadcast operations, Mr. J. Sonsa.
We have in our presence to represent SMNI, Mr. J. Sonsa. You have the floor, sir.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. With respect to the things that were explained by the Honorable Congressman from the party list.
Yes, sir.
For as long as there is a jurisprudence and there is an approved law pertaining to red tag, I'm sure any and all media practitioners will follow it. In the meantime, that there are no laws, or what he was mentioning were independent opinions of some associate justices.
Lagot ka dyan.
Mahirap pong pangunahan namin ang ating Supreme Court, ang House of Representatives, ang Senate, na gagawa kami ng bagay na hindi naman naayon as we were simply, if there are, kung meron po kayong naiisip na na-red tag kayo, perhaps it was simply because there were descriptions which were pronounced by the very Anti-Terrorism Council.
True.
But it is not because it was a personal or a network practice to red tag you. Pero tinitiyak ko po sa inyo, kapag ka may batas na bawal yung ganon, susunod po kami. Maraming salamat po.
Good.
Yeah.
Yun, no?
Mr. Chair, to
May sagot talaga.
respond and to wind up, we have three branches of government. While sa atin po, Mr. Chair, we filed a bill to criminalize red tagging. Pero habang wala pa po yan, hindi ibig sabihin na wala tayong gagawin kapag nangyayari ito.
Naku.
And in fact, kaya natin sinasalang ang mga resolution, ang isang resolution and other resolutions at mga batas, panukalang batas dito. Dahil gusto nating mapanagot ang mga actually supposedly nasa media.
Wait, the Honorable David Suarez,
Yeah.
AJ Suarez has a rejoin there. Then the Honorable Dan Salvador
Doon lang
will
sa
now have
point
also another question. Yes.
Thank you. Doon sa point na ni-raise ni Congressman Manuel, I understand it was the president of SMNI. Sir, are you with us today? Yeah. I understand you represented SMNI in Beijing in July this year to talk about the partnership between your two networks. Can you please further elaborate on the details of this partnership between these two networks?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. SMNI has collaborated with China's state TV CGTN following the executives meeting in Beijing, China in July 2023. Nag-usap po kami kasi in-invite po kami nila doon para sa pag-cover ng ASEAN Games. Yun yung parang unang usapan na magkaroon kami ng collaboration na makahingi kami ng mga videos ng mga palaro doon at may balita dito sa atin sa Pilipinas. At doon nagmula ang magiging partnership sana na gagawin pero hindi pa na-finalize hanggang ngayon. So, but for now, hanggang sa video sharing lang po kung ano po ang pinakamagandang balita, may mga breaking news na kailangan malaman po ng mga Pilipino ay binabalita po ng SMNI. Ganun din po kung meron pong mga balita na nasa Pilipinas na gusto ring malaman ng mga Chinese. Ganun din po kasi ang practice ng networks dito sa Pilipinas. In fact, marami pong humingi sa amin ng videos, binibigyan po namin sila as long na mayroong courtesy po ng network na kung saan sila humingi. Ganun din po kami, humingi din po kami sa kanila. Ganun lang po kasimple ang partnership. Wala pong ibang, sa ngayon din po, hindi po naka-finalize at wala pong pinirmahan ng mga partnership po. Hanggang verbal agreement lang po, Mr. Chair.
So thank you very much. So Mr. Chair, in other words, wala pa pong dokumentong draft
Wala pa
between
po,
both parties?
Wala pa po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just want to share kasi yung concerns ni Kong Manuel. May lumalabas kasing sa China news na yung mga Pilipino ang naging aggressive sa West Philippine Sea. Binaliktad po nila yung kwento. Iba yung kwento sa kanila doon sa tunay na nangyari sa mga Pilipino. Kaya ito po ay medyo may pangamba din para sa akin. Dahil alam naman natin, di ba, there are always two versions to the story. But you know, as Filipinos, we always have to support that which the Philippine government holds. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Before I give it to the Honorable Rog, I just opened the letter now. No? It's addressed to me. This is response to a December 6th invitation for your committee for me to appear on a hearing at its hearing on December 11 at 11 o'clock a.m. I have not been an officer of Swara Sub Media Corporation from the time of the enactment of Republic Act 1442 up to the present. Hence, I must respectfully send my regrets for my absence in the hearing today. Sincerely, Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy. Do you confirm that he is not an officer since the renewal of the franchise in 2019? The Honorable Mr. President, Mr. Rosete, hindi po opisyales siya post, kasi inimbitaho namin sa hearing niya na ito si Pastor Kibuloy.
Mr. Chair, hindi po, Mr. Chair.
So, but he owns, may shares po siya sa kumpanya. Establish po natin yun. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Attorney.
May I be recognized?
Suplico, you're recognized.
Your Honor, in 2018, Pastor Apollo owned 1.5% of the stock holdings of Swara Sub Media Corporation. But sometime in 2021, 2022, he donated his shares to the cooperative, which is now reported, which is now in the cooperative is now listed as a stockholder of Swara Sub Media Corporation as of the filing of the 2023 amended GIS.
When did, in 2020, wala na po ba siya Pastor Kibuloy?
2020, he was still a
officer.
No, not an officer, Your Honor, but a stockholder.
Yes.
As to 1.5%.
Correct. 2023 siya nawala eh.
2020, sometime in 2022, Your Honor.
Okay. So, kaya nga, pag-report sa 2023, wala na po yung pangalan niya.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And he has 0 shares in SMNI or Swara Sub?
At the moment, yes, Your Honor.
No shares?
No shares at all.
Okay, under his name?
Yes, Your Honor.
But if he is a member of the cooperative or any other company, then he could still have his shares.
He is not a member of the cooperative, Your Honor.
He is not also a member.
That's
He is not also a director of any of the other corporations that are involved in the Seoul. How about the Seoul Corporation?
Yes, Your Honor. He is not.
He is not.
Yes, Your Honor. He is not.
So, in any form, shape, or manner, he is not an owner.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you feeling better now? Because last hearing, you had to run to the clinic. Are you okay?
Well, I'm monitoring my BP, Your Honor.
Okay. So, I hope you're okay.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Your Honor, for the
Thank
concern.
Yes.
Just short
Yes, the
interjection.
Honorable Kimbo.
Yes, in the last hearing, I made a manifestation that based on the GIS, Mr. Apollo Kibuloy was listed as ultimate beneficial owner. I believe until 2021. So, can we hear a confirmation
Well, if they
from Attorney Supico?
Cons-
Maybe the question is, until when was he
the
ultimate beneficial owner?
Okay. Attorney Rolex Suplico.
Your Honor, I'm holding the a copy of the amended GIS for 2023. In the last, he is not a stockholder of record
That's
as of this time, Your Honor.
no earlier, sir. So the question is, until when was he ultimate beneficial owner? So the GIS that I read in the last hearing were, I believe, 2021 and 2022. So ang pinakita po natin was a change in ownership or change in UBO from 2021 to 2022. So sa pagkakaalala ko, as of end 2021, siya po ang nakalista na UBO.
Let me check the record, Your Honor. I wanted to speak based on the record.
Can you? I'll go back to you, no? Attorney Suplico.
Thank you, Your
On 2 points. One, yung kanina sa IT, the turning down of who put down the page, and this issue raised by the Honorable Kimbo. You have to validate also because the documents held by the Honorable Fernandez says hanggang 2020, but your answer to me earlier was 2022. So we would like to know a clear response under oath on this issue. The Honorable Francisco, the Honorable Ramon Gutierrez is recognized. Oh, I'm sorry. The Honorable Franz Castro, then the Honorable Ramon Gutierrez. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Yes. What is the point of honor, the Honorable Dan Fernandez?
Isn't it the policy of the rules of the this committee to have a alternate on the
yes, my apologies,
questions?
the Honorable Dan Fernandez, because I'm just following the list of, as I stated earlier, it's the first to register will be acknowledged.
Don't get me wrong, I don't want to undermine the minority,
Yes.
but
Yes.
it is the policy of this
Yes, so
committee
I
to
will,
have an alternate.
yes, I would like to give way first to Honorable Franz Castro. Then if the Honorable Gutierrez will give way to you, then we will go for it, okay?
Kasi
As a senior member
Kasi
of the...
ibang majority,
kasi
majority are also
because
waiting for their turn.
yeah, but you will have to put your name.
Yeah.
Because, if you're not in the list, then I will not be able to determine who's majority and minority. Like, tiyo ko po yan, kaya kaya ko pong sabihin yon. The Honorable...
Mr. Chair, housekeeping lang po.
Yes.
This pertains to the letter of
Opo.
Pastor Kibuloy, which you read earlier. So, dito po, he mentions that he had not, well, according to him, he had not been an officer of the corporation from the time of the enactment of RA 11422, which was in 2019. And this is the reason for why he says he should be excused from this hearing. However, Mr. Chair, so first of all, based on our records, as of 2021, he was listed as ultimate beneficial owner, and that's based on the documents submitted to us. And as we know, ultimate beneficial owner means that he effectively controls a corporation. Of course, he can argue that may technicality, hindi pa rin yun officer, but ngayon pa man, ibig sabihin nun, marami siyang kaalaman being, having effective control over the corporation. Number two, pwede ba natin malaman, so sa ngayon po, ang executive pastor ay si Pastor Acobo, tama ba?
Can I answer that, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Prior to him, sino po ang executive pastor?
Pastor Apollo C. Mr. Chair.
At nagpalit sila noong December 19, 2022. Tama
Yes,
po ba?
Mr. Chair.
Okay, so in which case, si Pastor Kibuloy ay executive pastor up to December 19, 2022. Tama po?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, in which case, Mr. Chair, ibig sabihin nun, parang mini-mislead yata tayo ng sulat na to. Kasi even after the enactment of the franchise agreement, siya pa rin po ay officer ng corporation, being the executive pastor until December 19, 2020.
Can I explain to that, Mr. Chair? There is a legal concept with respect to corporation sole. A corporation sole, usually this is a corporation with respect to religious organizations. If you are the chief executive minister, you're holding the properties of a church as a trustee of the church. The real owner of the church is actually the members of the church. In fact, that is based on Section 108 of the revised corporation code, Mr. Chair. So that is corporation code, corporation sole, different from one-person corporation or an ordinary corporation.
Mr. Chair, hindi naman po ito korte.
Opo, yes,
Purpose naman po ng hearing.
Attorney Tolentino, ang tanong ho niya is, I mean, wag ho tayo kasi we're talking about sole corporation, wag ho tayo umikot-ikot masyado sa officers. We're talking of UBO. Ultimate beneficial owner.
Who has effective control over the
yes,
corporation.
that is the question of the honorable.
Yes, in which case, Mr. Chair,
Stella.
which means that he has sufficient information
Opo.
and therefore may kakayahan po siya to shed light on the matter
Anong pag
at hand.
UBO
So,
kayo,
in which
alam niyo
case, Mr. Chair, sa akin lang po is we must insist that that he appears before us.
You know
So,
why?
yun lang po, Mr.
Alam
Chair.
po ninyo, Attorney Gatian. In the letter kasi, sabi niya, nung nirenew yung frankisa niya noong December 19, 2019, hindi na raw siya officer. Yun ang sulat. Ang tanong niya, he may not be an officer, but he is still the UBO.
He was never an officer of SMNI.
Correct. No, but nakalagay nga ron. Pero now, he is still the UBO. So he's invited being the UBO. So in the next hearings, we will now, I mean, the records that you have submitted to the committee shows that he is and was the UBO until 2022. Before so hindi po siya mali, hindi ho tugma dun sa sulat ho na binigay niya. Yun ang point of the council ni Congresswoman Stella Kimbo. Hindi po siya tumutugma because ang importante ho dito, sino po talaga may-ari nito. We're looking at the ultimate beneficial owner. No?
I think, Mr. Chair, the best person to answer is the lawyer of Pastor Kibuloy.
Who is?
Here, Mr. Chair.
Oh, now you're not anymore the lawyer. You are the lawyer.
I'm the lawyer of SMNI, Mr. Chair, not the
Okay.
lawyer of Pastor Kibuloy.
Is she here?
Yes, she is.
Ma'am,
Mr. Chair.
please state your name.
Good
Yes.
afternoon to our esteemed members, to
Yes.
our chairman and esteemed members
Yes,
of the Committee
yes.
on Leadership Anti-Cess. I am Attorney Antoinette Principe. I am the counsel and representative of Pastor Kiboloy, and I was tasked specifically to furnish this honorable committee with that letter that you have read a while ago, Your Honor.
Okay. So my question is, before that, were you present in the previous hearings?
No, Your Honor, because my engagement is only for today's hearing.
Okay, maybe we ask you to please rise. So I ask the Comsec to administer the oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this congressional inquiry so help you God? Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much for serving the letter, which now has opened another set of questions. And the position of the Honorable Kimbo is that there's an inconsistency of the content of the letter and now the documents that you've submitted before this committee, especially in the GIS of 2022 and 2023. She's now going into, there's a comparison. Can you
Yes.
please reply? Is it inconsistent or not?
Your Honor, I'm afraid I'm not able to answer that question intelligently because when I had a meeting with Pastor Kiboloy last December 8th, we only had a very brief discussion. He received the letter which came from this committee on the evening of December 7, and we had a very short meeting on December 8th. And inasmuch as it was a very long weekend holiday, he does not have the documents. He has no access to such documents, so we cannot answer that intelligently, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman,
So my question is, Honorable Paduano, who can answer the question? I mean, if the lawyers of SMNI cannot answer, and you cannot answer, then who will now answer the questions raised by the Honorable Kimbo?
Mr. Chairman,
Attorney Tolentino.
I think, Mr. Chair, if the committee will allow, can we ask the SEC, Mr. Chair, to explain what is that corporation sold all about.
Mr. Chairman,
No.
Mr. That's not the matter being discussed, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
wait. The Honorable Patuano, the Honorable Kimbo, are you going to give way to the Honorable Patuano?
Yes.
Because she has the floor. The Honorable Patuano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the lawyer Pastor Kibuloy is present. But yung trabaho nila is to just submit to us the letter of to the invitation of this committee. And I think sinabi niya wala siyang knowledge. And the letter of Pastor Kibuloy, it's up to the committee if we will accept or not. Diba? And we cannot question the details from the lawyer because in the first place, sagot niya, hindi niya may detalye, hindi niya lamang detalye. So, Mr. Chairman, it's up to the committee, to the chair, to decide whether in the next hearing we still invite Pastor Kibuloy.
Yes,
because it's up to us to decide.
Okay. Thank you very much. We will decide on that later. Thank you very much, Honorable Patuano. So, because the only reason why I acknowledged you, ma'am, was because Attorney Tintino said to acknowledge, requested that you will answer the questions being raised by the Honorable Kimbo. Now, you can't also answer the same questions being raised by the Honorable Kimbo. So,
Yes, I will just...
so we're still left in a quandary as to his being the UBO, which we're really interested in. No? The Honorable
Yes,
Kimbo
Mr.
is-
Chair, I will simplify my questions,
Yes.
just based on the letter. The letter says, I have not been an officer of the corporation from the time of the enactment of the RA, so that's 2019. Hence, I must respectfully send my regrets for my absence in the hearing today. So, ang sinasabi ba dito sa liham ay dahil hindi daw siya officer, wala siyang sufficient na information and therefore, hindi na siya a-appear ngayong araw. Yun bang ibig sabihin nun? Ipaliwanag niyo lang.
Yes,
Yun
may
ang
idea lang
logic. Yes or no lang?
Yes or no lang?
Para madali.
Yes or no?
Yes, because he's not an officer and
Yun
the
na nga.
invitation states
So tama, it has
specifically-
to do with not having sufficient information.
Yes, Your
correct.
Honor.
Okay. However, it is very clear based on our documents, and I will furnish you a copy, that he is or he was ultimate beneficial owner at least April 29, 2021, which is beyond the enactment of the RA, which is 2019. Okay? And as ultimate beneficial owner, he has effective control over the corporation. Now, will you agree with me that having effective control over a corporation, would you have sufficient information about the corporation?
With due respect to the
Yes
chair.
or no only. If you
With
have
due respect-
effective control over a corporation, any corporation, if person X has effective control over corporation Y, does person X have sufficient information about corporation Y?
With due respect to the chairman and members of the committee, as I said, the engagement of Pastor Kibuloy to this representation was solely.
I am
to-
asking about person X and corporation Y.
Again, I am not privy to that specific matter,
Mr.
Your
Chair,
Honor.
our attorney is not being responsive. So
You were introduced as the lawyer of Pastor
Only-
Kibuloy. Just to deliver, are you trying to tell me that you were sent here, ma'am, just to deliver the letter to the
Yes, Your
chairman?
Honor.
That's the only thing?
Because,
You're not supposed to answer any question?
Yes, Your Honor, because the Pastor Kibuloy respects the today's proceedings, despite the very short period of time he was given when he received the invitation. As a show of respect to this committee, he wanted to have someone personally deliver the letter.
Okay, so
saying
she was
his
just here
regrets.
just to deliver the letter.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Attorney Suplico, can you answer the questions as SMNI lawyer? Since this is an SMNI affair.
Well, Your Honor, in our records, specifically the amended GIS for 2023, his name does not appear.
well, that is also, Mr. Chair, let me point out one thing that we also uncovered when we were comparing documents with the SEC. It turns out that the submission to Congress is different from the submission to the SEC. So ito pong submission ng GIS to Congress, which has the beneficial ownership declaration, ito pong binasa ko, ito po ay wala po dun sa submission sa SEC. Kaya nagtaka po ang SEC. Sabi nila, bakit? Well, we can ask the SEC to verify that. But yun po ang naging...
Who is the beneficial owner in the SEC records? May I ask the SEC...
For the April 29, 2021 submission, can you double check your documents and see if it has a beneficial owner declaration?
Yes, Mr. Blanco.
Yes, Your Honor. The repository of the submissions of the GIS, which contains the ultimate beneficial owners, is with the EIPD. But we confirm, Mr. Chair, that and we have accessed the documents that are with the Honorable Kimbo, and we confirm that.
What do you confirm?
We confirm that from 2020 to 2022, the declaration in those documents, ultimate beneficial owner for Suarasug was a Pastor Kibuloy.
So you're saying that...
I stand corrected, Mr. Chair, 2020.
I'm sorry, from 20... Can you please repeat? Attorney you're a lawyer, right? Attorney...
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Attorney Padilla. Yes. Are you confirming what? From what date again? Can you please repeat the dates?
Until 2020, Mr. Chair.
He was?
The ultimate beneficial owner.
How about 2020, 2021, 2022, they are not, he was not anymore.
Not anymore, Mr. Chair.
Sir Chair.
The Honorable Kimbo.
In 2021, exactly on April 29, 2021, they submitted exactly the same thing.
SMNI.
SMNI.
Okay. And
declaring the same.
That
Pastor Kibuloy was the ultimate beneficial owner.
So, yes, Attorney Padilla.
So it would appear, Mr. Chair, that the Honorable Kimbo is correct, that we have different documents.
So that's what I was saying earlier.
So now there's that confirmation that the document submitted before the SEC is different from the document submitted before this honorable committee for the information of SMNI. I don't think that's something that can be refuted anymore unless you say that the other, I mean, what can you say?
Maybe, Mr. Chair, may pagkakamali sa pag-file sa House of Congress. But based on our record, Mr. Chair, in only 2020...
These are notarized documents, attorney.
Yes, maybe...
So we will call now the notary public. We will go there. Baka umabot tayo na New Year dito, attorney.
But based on our record, Mr. Chair, Pastor Apollo Kibuloy is the beneficial owner only in 2020 because he is the trustee of a corporation soul, the executive pastor of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ.
Correct.
Because per description of the SEC, Mr. Chair, letter B, D, and I, Mr. Chair, only natural person should be included in the beneficiary. That's why the name of Apollo Kibuloy was there. But actually, our intent is that the corporation soul, the executive pastor of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, who is the trustee, is Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Right. And he is not the trustor or the real owner, Mr. Chair.
Well, I mean, we can jumble the whole thing, but the bottom line is who is the UBO? The UBO is very clear, and the SEC has stated that earlier. The Honorable Kimbo, anyway, Honorable Kimbo, we will continue with the line. Are you willing to give in already? Do you still have a question?
No, I'm just saying that these are notarized documents.
Yes.
And so the April 29, 2021 notarized GIS clearly states the UBO is Pastor
And that there's
and my bottom line, Mr. Chair, is simply that let's, taking away all of these legalistic
Mr. Chair,
concepts. All bottom line lang naman is that meron naman siyang sufficienteng kaalaman. Ang gusto lang naman talaga natin is to shed light on the matter. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair.
I just would like to ask a question.
Ano lang kasimple.
Ano lang Diretso lang ang sagot, attorney.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Iba yung sabi niyo sa SEC. Iba ang sabi niyo sa committee. Ano po totoo doon?
Yung totoo po, yung sa SEC po.
So, fake ko na dito.
Hindi man fake po. Maybe nagkamali yung nag-file po.
Maaari.
Hindi totoo. Maraming salamat po. Thank you. Doon lang po tayo, ha?
Another
Salamat
Chair,
po.
can I
Thank you.
explain?
Okay.
But nonetheless, 2020 is still beyond 2019,
Yes.
which is the enactment.
I know what, maski paano ho natin i-justify yan, iba pa rin po yung sinasabi po sa sulat, iba rin po yung yun ang punto ho ni the Honorable Kimbo. But we will go back to that, ha?
Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, Honorable Toby Chanco before the Honorable Dan
Wala naman tayo.
Fernandez.
Hindi naman perfect ang tao.
I just would like to emphasize that this is, I've been allowing all of these interpretation questions to shed light before we go to the discussion. We're already discussing the bill of the resolution of the Honorable Nograles. But we would just like to get some clarification, especially issues that were not raised in the last hearing before we go into the vote of the committee report. Yes, the Honorable Toby Janko.
Mr. Chair, it's not as simple as sinasabi po ni Attorney Tolentino na nagkamali because these are both sworn statements.
Correct.
So meron isa doon na nagsinungaling.
Correct.
Very simple. We cannot take it as na nagkamali.
Correct.
So I just want to manifest that.
Thank you very much, Honorable Toby Janko.
Mr. Chair,
yes.
Mr. Chair, could I just manifest something
Wait,
as well?
ladies first. The Honorable Kimbo.
I move that we invite the Pastor Apollo Kibuloy.
We will.
Next year.
We will re-invite.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The Honorable J.J. Suarez, the Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just want to share the sentiments of Congressman Chanco regarding this revelation. Hindi po pwede na iba yung sinasabit nyo sa SEC tapos iba yung sinasabit nyo dito sa Congress. Because it's supposed to be one and the same. Those are sworn affidavit, notarized documents. And then you have just now admitted na nagkamali kayo ng submission dito. So on that point, Mr. Attorney Tolentino, again, that puts a lot of question on the truthfulness of the documents that you're submitting to the House of Representatives, which may tarnish the very franchise that you hold. Kasi ito po ang pinagbabasihan namin. Tapos when we discovered recently with SEC that you have just confirmed these two documents are actually different.
Mr. Chair, can I see the document, Mr. Chair?
Okay.
Can we check the document?
Yes, we will be. Can you please, Comsec, you're directed to give a copy to to Attorney Tolentino. Now we recognize from Laguna the Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Finally, Mr. Chairman, I was asking for, in the last hearing, we asked Attorney Tolentino about the documents pertaining to the 2022 service. Quiet mo ba? Service contract, invoices.
Silence is requested. The Honorable Dan Fernandez is speaking.
Yeah, and all of the official receipts that was issued by SMNI in relation to all your revenues collection, and at the same time the different schedule expenses that had been released by SMNI. Unfortunately, Mr. Chairman, when I read these documents that they have submitted just now, it only pertains to 2023 and not on 2022. Thereby, we will be having problem with what we have discussed recently. I hope that you're listening, Attorney Mark. So, can we kindly show yung issues that I am pertaining to? Siguro, yung pong 2022 kasi, tinanong ko na po tulong last hearing. At tinanong po namin kung saan po nanggaling yung breakdown ng revenue po ninyo ng 2022. Kasi kumita po ang Suwarosu ng 105 million noong pong 2022.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, ang sabi nyo, walang kinita ang pulso ng bayan doon, right? Walang sponsor. And the very reason why we cite Mrs. Badoy for lying is based on these revenues. And if we're going to move for a furlough, no, and not seeing in these documents those she mentioned in the last hearing pertaining to all those advertisers, we will be constrained to put her in detention. Kasi nga, talaga nagsisinungaling siya. Dahil dito sa sinabmit nyo, I haven't seen Attorney Mark Tolentino. Wala akong nakita dito pertaining to the subject advertisers that she mentioned in the last hearing.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we have no program pulso ng bayan, Mr. Chair.
Meron tayo.
Only morning. Laban kasama ng bayan is the program of Badoy and kay Eric, not pulso ng bayan, Mr. Chair.
Okay, doon sa laban ng bayan, she mentioned ay 3 sponsors, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair, but based on my information, she has no personal knowledge with that, Mr. Chair.
So in other words, wala kayong sponsor doon.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So she was lying indeed. Dahil sinabi niya meron, and you told us na wala. And that's the reason why we cite her for contempt. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, okay. So, in other words, kino-confirm pa rin ng mga dokumentong to na talagang wala na sponsor yung programa na kung saan siya ang host.
That's why I answered, Mr. Chair, in our last hearing, Mr. Chair, that there was no advertisement, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, indeed,
So I
we were
tried to
correct
correct,
in us citing her for contempt.
I tried to correct, Mr. Chair, Dr. Lorraine, Mr. Chair, in her answer.
All right. Now, Attorney Tolentino, we asked for the documents sa 2023. Makikita po ninyo dyan, pakibalik lang yung slide. Kasi may revenue kayo ng 90 million, 105 million.
2022, Mr. Chair.
2022, oo. And trying to read yung inyo pong documents that were submitted, 13 contracts to na sinabit nyo po ngayon. Total of 6.25 million ang totality nitong contract na to. So, if you're going to assess yung pong 2022, paano po kayo nag-arrive sa 90 million na revenue? Para lamang po sa inyo pong mga programa.
Based on my personal knowledge, Mr. Chair.
No, we're not asking your personal knowledge. What we're asking for is the documents that we asked in the last hearing. And precisely the reason why we asked for it, because we wanted to find out saan ang galing tong perang ito.
That's why, Mr. Chair, we will submit that within the day, Mr. Chair, with respect to the...
Yes, you submitted is an agreement on 2023, not on 2022. We're asking for the 2022, 2021, but you gave us 2023. And today, paano namin, well, mabuti na lang, nabasa ko yung 13. Nakuha ko yung total, 6.25. Meron kayong kontrata, 100, 900, 135, total lang 6.25 million for the year 2023. We are talking about 2022. And the total ng 2022 is 105 million. Explain to us, yan ang sinasabi ko, explain to us the scheduled expenses and revenue that you have undergone. Kasi hindi po natin mako-comprehend kung saan ang galing tong perang to. And as long as you are keeping those documents, there is a presumption that this money came from a polluted source. Give us the benefit of the doubt that this does not come from a polluted source. Otherwise, we will be construed to think that this is something that came from that.
Mr. Chair, the best person to answer that is our CFO, Mr. Chair.
Who is the CFO?
Miss Bing Ayon, Mr. Chair.
Is she here?
Miss Bing, andito po kayo. Please reply. Andito po siya. Kayo rin po.
Mr. Chair, unfortunately, she tested positive for COVID yesterday.
Mr. Chairman,
and there was a letter.
So, okay.
It seems that you are evading this kind of questioning regarding the source of your revenue. And we really don't want to mention words that is so hurtful. Dahil kung titingnan mo to at bibigyan nyo kami ng agreement like this, 13 agreements na hindi nagmamatch doon sa 90 million o sa 105 million per se, it's hard for us to analyze. Di ba? And even the BIR, they are basing your taxable amount based on your audited financial statement. They are not
basing on the detailed Kasi detalye ang hinihingi namin, but you're not giving us the detail. And we cannot really compute even your salaries. Yung production ng, tingnan niyo yung program and production expenses nyo ng 2022, nag-jump siya ng 15 million. Explain to us. Saan nagpunta yung pera, saan nyo ginamit yung pera niya from 1.3? Suddenly, nag-jump kayo ng 15 million.
Mr. Chair, I just received with me, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
the Suarasug Media Corporation's sales journal, Mr. Chair. Can I submit this to the Honorable Committee, Mr. Chair?
O yan, kaya nga, the same thing, isasubmit nyo ngayon. Paano ko na mababasa yan? Hindi na ako magtatanong. So, anyway, isubmit nyo na rin po sa amin. So, magiging basis na rin po namin yan. And can we ask the BIR? Andito naman po ang BIR, yung RD79, please. Hindi, wala nga raw yung CFO nila eh.
Okay.
We have invited the CFO
No,
in the last hearing. The CFO is not here.
Attorney, I mentioned the CFO last hearing. The records and the
She is
video.
willing to come here, Mr. Chair, but
She's sick.
we received a...
Okay, we have her medical certificate. Please submit to the committee. Thank you.
And then we asked na lang the chairman, yung presidente. Sino ba presidente? Probably may knowledge
Presidente,
po sila.
kaya niyo po sagutin yung tanong.
Sige, sir.
Mr. Rosete, sagutin niyo po yung tanong ni Congressman Dan Fernandez.
Sir, tanong lang po namin muna doon sa 105 million. From 2021, 45, tapos suddenly nag-jump kayo ng 105 million. Ano po yung mga sponsor that you got for the programs that you have produced? Ano po yung malalaking mga sponsor that you have contracted with?
Okay. With all due respect, Mr. Chair, I will answer the question with according to my knowledge only. 2022 po is election period po. Marami pong pumasok na political ads. Meron po kami mga EVPs. Meron pong, yung time na yun po, hindi pa po nati-take down yung social media na kung saan nag-i-income din po. At yung tanong po ni Honorable Congressman Dan Fernandez about sa expenses po, lumaki po siya, nag-jump off po ng hanggang 15 million. Dahil po nag-sponsor po ang SMNI News Channel ng pinaka magandang debate sa buong Pilipinas. 4 po yun na debates.
Tama.
Wala po yung bayad sa lahat ng pumasok doon. Mahal po ang Okada. So doon po napunta ang mga expenses. Hanggang doon lang po ang alam ko po na mga Mr. Chair.
Okay, salamat po. How about the commission? Kasi meron akong nakita rito, 2.6 million niyo commission. Parang, hindi ko alam ano po itong commission na to.
Kasi po, meron pong nag-sponsor, tapos meron po silang agent.
So yun ang commission nila?
May commission po
Punta
sila.
tayo sa susunod na page. Tingnan lang po natin yung susunod na slide. Pero submit to us, all the documents pertaining doon sa expenses nyo for the salaries program
Mr. Chair.
and production expense. Dito lang, medyo napansin ko lang yung advertising and promotion nyo. Meron kayong ginastos sa 12.1 million. Samantalang ng 2021, 810 lang yung ginastos nyo. So what is this 12.1 million sa advertising and promotion nyo? Do you advertise SMNI? So gumagamit pa po kayo ng advertisement and promotion for this purpose? What is this all about?
Mr. Chair, hindi ko po masagot yung exact na tanong po.
Okay,
wala pa akong...
Yung sa fuel and oil naman po ninyo, konti lang naman to, Mr. Chairman, fuel and oil, nag-jump siya suddenly from 2.6 to 7.9 million. Do you have other source of transportation like helicopter or
No
jet?
po, kasi po, nung time na yon nagkaroon po kami ng additional na marked vehicle po para sa...
Pero, Mr. Chairman, no, yung gantong kalaki na jump from 2.6 to 7.9 is not believable kung gagamitin nyo po lamang ay mga vehicle na ordinary sasakyan. That is not possible with this, no? Well, I'm just saying, ano? So submit us to us as well yung mga lahat po ng receipt. Well, actually, job yan ng BIR. I think the BIR should issue a letter of authority to start the investigation on submit of getting all these documents. Huh? Wala BIR? Again? We asked them twice, right?
This is the first time we invited.
Once, okay. So, sir, yun lang po, pagdating po dito sa, pagdating po sa, sa business expense nyo, suddenly nagkaroon po kayo ng business expense. What is this also? Yung 3 point something. Ayan, makikita mo nyo sa business expense po ninyo. Meron kayo dyan na, bigla kayo nagkaroon ng 3.2 something there. Eh. Ano po ba yan?
Sorry, Mr. Chair, talagang hindi ko po alam yung...
Alright, I think, Mr. Chair, the problem is the submission of all these documents, ano? So we will be asking na lang po siguro to ask the BIR para at least masipina lahat ng mga documents. If we are having a hard time for the SMNI to submit to us all these documents, I think it's incumbent upon the authority that was given to BIR to issue a LOA, no? Para sa ganun po makita po natin yung mga documents na to. I don't know what to do with this, Mr. Chairman. We're having a hard time trying to figure it out. Kung paano po namin may babalansi po yung mga revenues nyo and mga expenses ninyo. But there will always be a presumption, no, that this money is being used in here are coming from a different kind of sources. So, debunk us. I-debunk niyo po kami para at least we will be thinking that this money came from a source that is good, not a bad source. Kasi nga, yun ang magiging presumption po namin dito eh. Hanggang hindi nyo po ipinakikita sa amin itong lahat ng ito, hindi po natin malalaman kung saan yung revenue nyo sa kaya expenses nyo. Am I right, attorney?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yan. So, one more thing, Mr. Chairman, no? Yung Bampibus po na Capital Holdings Incorporated, kasi what is the primary purpose of this holding company? Sige. Okay. Second one. Gagalit na si Migs. Okay. Okay, so with the indulgence of my colleagues here, siguro i-reserve ko na lang po yung katanungan sa susunod na lang po at nagsalita na si Chairman, and with respect to our sponsor na resolution, so I'll be heading to the next line of questioning in the next round. Maraming po salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much.
And again, sana po may submit na po finally sa atin. No? We're giving them another week para isubmit po lahat yung document.
Thank you very much.